In this video, I'm going to give you guys the ultimate body language guide so you know exactly how to read a girl's body language and act accordingly so you always know what to do when you're on a date. So when it comes to body language, there's 3 general categories that you can get. The first one's going to be open body language. This is when a girl is really into you. So this might look like
this. Like if you're sitting on a couch, she would be leaning towards you. But let's say you're sitting on a table, like at a restaurant.
Sitting on a table?
At a restaurant, ESL, she's gonna be kind of like putting her hand like this, like most likely
leaning in, yeah.
Leaning in, playing with her hair, laughing or smiling at whatever
stupid joke I say, yeah.
Yeah, some touching. It could be like some type of touching and lip biting. If she's like kind of like biting her lip, like
so essentially it comes down to which way she's leaning, whether she's touching you, and proximity.
Yeah, like something like this, like like where you feel that she's kind of open towards you, towards the idea of you.
Yeah, so what do you do in a situation like that? Well, clearly you want to put up a boundary. You want to say that kind of behavior is not acceptable and she should lean the fuck back. No, in this situation, I think the best approach is to kind of give her a little bit of room to chase. So what you would do is you would lean back a bit, right? Like I would probably, if Natty's sitting like this and we're on a first date.
And I would definitely like.
I'll probably lean back a little bit, right? But then also you don't want to like make it seem like you're just cold towards her advances because then she's just gonna turn away. So that might be like while I'm kind of leaning back, I might be like kind of just touching her knee as I'm carrying on a casual conversation, just talking about how horrible Colombia is, how Russia is a much better country, how like she's from a shithole, like all that stuff. While I do that, I'm just kind of playing with her knee, and that kind of shows that you're receptive, that you're also interested in her advances. Now also, when a girl's giving warm body language, you don't want to like the second she starts, you don't want to just like start like going for the makeout, but you don't want to wait too long either. You know, after a few minutes, maybe after 5-10 minutes, right, as you're building up the sexual tension, you don't want to just kind of let this drag on for 2 hours because eventually she's gonna get sleepy or she's gonna get bored. You want to kind of reciprocate that by either kissing her or touching her, and then you know what to do. The next possibility is neutral body language, and this is probably going to be the most likely scenario, at least at the beginning of the date. So what would be neutral body language?
Something like this. I'm not leaning in, I'm not like all the way back. I'm kind of like neutral, for lack of better words.
Yeah, so the misconception is like, oh, this means the girl doesn't really like you that much. She could like you, but she could be just not sure, right? She could be unsure, she doesn't really know about you, or she feels a little nervous. Yes, girls get nervous. Or she just, for example, there's not that much sexual tension, or whatever. This is, again, probably gonna be the most common scenario. So what would I do in a situation like this where she's giving me neutral body language? I'd probably look at her and say, give me one body language, woman. No, what you would do in this scenario is you'd probably mirror her energy. So if she's giving me neutral body language, I would also give neutral body language, almost leaning back slightly, but not too much, right? Because if you play it too cool and then she starts playing cool, just nothing's gonna happen. So slightly leaning back, but also giving her neutral body language. And what I would do is periodically just test the waters, right? So one thing you could also look out for is like, is she starting to lean in? And if you're doing a good job flirting with her, that should be the case. Or is she starting to get closer to you? Is there like better proximity? And on occasion, I would just test the waters. You could easily do that, like while you're making a joke, you just touch her knee lightly, but then you move your hand away, like maybe like 5 seconds later. And how does she react to it? Does it look like she's recoiling, or does it look like she's eager? If not, next time you keep your hand on her knee for 10 seconds, 15 seconds. This could be on the arm, this could be pretty much anywhere, probably not her boobs, but you get the picture. So you basically want to just kind of test the waters like that, and eventually the goal is to get to warm body language, but don't let that limit you. If the girl always stays in neutral body language, it could mean that she's just a little bit nervous. That still doesn't mean that you should just like avoid making a move or whatever. You still want to ultimately try to kiss the girl and try to move things forward. The last possibility is going to be close body language. Now, ideally, you want to avoid this in the first place, but there's many reasons why it could happen. It could be that your game just absolutely sucks, that you've just been boring the shit out of her and she's just waiting for her chance to basically end the date and go home while being socially polite, right? That could be the first reason. But it could also be many other reasons that have nothing to do with you. It could be she's just generally very standoffish and she's used to guys chasing her. It could be it's like an extended form of a shit test. It could be that she just had a really, really bad experience in the past and she's like really weary, or she has trust issues. So again, it could come from many reasons. So how would closed body language look like?
I'm kind of sitting away from you. I'm kind of like, you know, like kind of uncomfortable, like this. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, it reminds me of our first date.
Of course it does. I'm kind of like keeping to myself.
Right. And you said you might be also checking your phone.
I might be checking my phone or having my hands like this, close together, and just being kind of like,
Yeah, just turning your neck.
yeah.
Yeah. So the question is, how would you handle closed body language? So this in some ways is going to be similar to open body language. You're going to be leaning back, right? Because you want to basically give her space and show that you're not a threat. The big difference is you're not going to be touching her, right? Because that can actually push her further away and she might give you really, really fucking close body language. Basically what we want to do is defrost her. So I think the best way to do that is with humor, right? If you can get the girl to laugh, right, and get her invested into the moment that's happening right now, she's going to be much more likely to open up. At the very least, she can give you neutral body language, and from there, you can start moving things forward. You probably don't want to escalate much, right, while she's in closed body language mode. Again, you probably use some verbals and get her really invested in the story, right? The way to do that is with questions, interesting questions. Don't just go on monologues and stories about you. That's just going to turn her off even more. So that's a good way of doing it. You want to keep strong eye contact, which will also keep her more engaged in the story. I can tell Natty right now is bored as fuck, but strong eye contact, pay attention. So that's going to be, you know, another thing you're going to be doing. And then basically the goal is to get her to neutral body language, at which point you will start again, kind of testing the waters a little bit, right? Seeing what you can get away with. But also if you've just been at it for an hour and the girl's just super much of an ice queen, she's just being super cold, you could just like really just try to kind of drop basically a bomb on it. You could be like, hey, listen, I can tell you seem like really closed off. What's going on? You can just be upfront and just like ask her questions like that if everything else you've tried is not working. All right, hopefully you guys found these breakdowns valuable. And the first part to actually getting warm body language is to get a date in the first place. So make sure you check out my free guide that shows you the 7 best Tinder openers that I've tested. Link is gonna be description. Best of all, it's free. Thank you guys, and until next time.
Next time, bye.